how you're different, the regular photo video companies and the house on the cloud.
A lot of it is very, very intuitive. I think a lot of effort is put into understanding people and where they're coming from. I think we put in a lot of effort in just doing that, in just understanding who and what people are and what'll make them happy 10, 20 years down the line. Also because you're not doing this for instant gratification. I mean, that's very, very easy to do, right? You'll do something and you look at it immediately and you'll be super happy. But you're also trying to give people something that lasts time in a way, right? 10, 20 years down the line, when you look back at something, whether it's a photo, a clip, if we are able to trigger an emotion in somebody or remind people of why that happened, I think we've been successful in doing what we're doing. And I think that's the most important thing to be able to do.
What is the most challenging part of your craft and what is the most rewarding?
I think challenging for us is to just please ourselves, because the expectations of just kind of constantly trying to do better than what you have done is always there. So I think that's the most challenging part, because I mean, you can do something, but this question of what if it could be better, or also because in this space, especially with film, right, a film can be made in 100 different ways, because there is no one single narrative, right? Like there can be so many narratives in a film that you can say, but what you choose to go with is again your intuition, is what you feel strongest about. And it's incredible how that whole thing comes together.
Ashwin,
Yes.
hi. Welcome to the wedding show by Rads. Thank you
you.
so much for flying all the way to Bombay. Better than flying to US, so I'm glad.
I'm gonna be in US soon, so
Yes, that's true. We'll meet again soon there. Let's talk about HOTC, the house on the clouds. Uh, of course, the name. What does the name mean?
uh, so I think it was in Sid's mind, it was just meant to be a cafe. He was just very fascinated by doing something, and he said maybe if he ever had a cafe, then it would be called House on the Clouds. And then I think when it came to naming the company when he started, he just named it House on the Clouds.
Okay.
So I mean, it doesn't really have a meaning per se to it necessarily, but that's how it just came to be about, I think. Yeah.
So, what is the story behind House on the Cloud? How did it start? I know the Sid is the founder. So, and
So I think Sid was in the US working in tech, and back then his girlfriend, now wife, said if we have to be together, then we have to move back to India. And he said, "ठीक है," and they moved, because of course they were in love and they wanted to get married and all of that. And when they moved here, I think he shot his friend's wedding. That was the first one, and that's how it started. Nor was he ever professionally trained. Actually, nobody in the company is professionally trained in doing photos or films. I think it's the passion towards photos and filmmaking that's got everybody together, including me for that matter. And that's what is keeping all of us together. It's just amazing when we look at everybody and how each one has kind of come together in this whole unit, and how each one kind of just fits that puzzle beautifully. I think it's really, really nice, I think.
and how many years has it been?
So this is our 10th year, like we were talking.
Oh wow!
And
Congratulations.
thank you. I think it's been a lovely, lovely journey, especially from where it started to where it has come now. Even for me personally, it's been 5 years now. So I think from where it started to where it is to where it's going to be, I think we're super, super happy, lucky, and fortunate to kind of be in this space.
So, Ashwin, tell me about your journey.
So I think it's a very, very, I would say it's quite interesting even for me, or if I were to look back. I used to be a dancer, choreographer, and I danced for 10 years of my life professionally. And while I was doing that, I met Sid, and we worked on two films together. I was a part of them, like,
Films.
yeah, like films, as in it was a dance film. Yeah, and there were two of them. One I was creatively producing and styling, and the other one I was in it, like I was performing. So I'd met Sid during that period, and we just knew of each other, as in, yeah. And then I think COVID happened, and I think that's when life changed, or life happened, I would say. Um, there were ups and downs, and a lot of things, right? Like
Correct.
a lot of things happened during COVID. And for me, there was also the time I had already started to question dance in general, because it had been 10 years, and I was like, is my body gonna be okay in another 10 years? What am I gonna do? What am I doing? Like, so there was a lot of questions. And because COVID, we stopped performing a lot. Like, the whole performance scene had completely dropped, right?
And
Like,
that was classical.
we used to do contemporary dance.
Okay.
Yeah, and like completely stopped. Like, there were no performances happening, so we weren't traveling. And I used to hate teaching. So it was, I don't know if I was good or not at it, but I never liked teaching. So it was just not my thing. And regardless, I did it because we didn't have a choice back then. Like, you had to, because we weren't traveling, we weren't performing. That was the only source, right? And eventually I had started looking for options. I'm like, maybe this is it, this is a sign. And I randomly called Sid one day saying, Sid, is there something for me? Can I do something with you? And politely the man said, what will you do? I mean, you're a dancer, choreographer, I think you should just pursue that. And that was all. And I think I called him again in another 4 or 5 months, and then again in a 4 or 5 months. And then he said, maybe there is something. Should we give it a shot? I was like, fine, I'll just give it a shot. And from then until now, I don't think there's ever been looking back. Like, it's just been ahead, forward, and really, really amazing, actually. And I love what I do. I think I love people, and I don't know how to explain it. And I think that comes very, very handy in what we do in the business, in the industry. uh, and I think I'm just very, very fortunate and lucky that he could put that trust in me, and just said, you do you. And today I do everything here.
Yes, that's true. I think, according to me, and as a planner, because I work with so many different vendors, and I work with you, and you handle, like, you basically direct the whole team during the weddings that I've seen. What I feel is the most important skill is the people skills in our business. If at all
Absolutely.
you don't have that, if you're not attuned with
Yeah.
their needs, you will not be able to last. So I think that's where you excel in. So good. I'm so glad that you found him, and you found this company, and you're part of this company,
Thank
because
you.
I've enjoyed working with you guys always.
Same. It's been
So,
incredible every time we've come together. And I must say, I mean, how you put together things for everybody, not just us as a photography filmmaking company, but every other vendor on your team. And I've always said planners are on top of the hierarchy. If a wedding does well, it all kudos to them. And it's been amazing every time we've kind of come together and had that energy. It's really,
oh,
really
you're
been
so
nice.
kind. Thank you. Thank you so much. The creative and how you work with the couple. I have seen it, and I would love to have this industry know how you work and how you are different from the regular photo video companies and the house on the cloud. The experience has always been very creative and different. How is it that you guys work? What's your process like?
There isn't really a very concrete process, if I may say so. A lot of it is very, very intuitive. I think a lot of effort is put into understanding people and where they're coming from, even if it is in a specific section of a bracket, or people in general, right? Like, we've done weddings ranging an Eiffel Tower to someone's house to
Yes.
anything, right? So just to be able to understand what people are wanting and where they're coming from, their mindset, I think is very, very important. And I think we put in a lot of effort in just doing that, in just understanding who and what people are, and what'll make them happy 10, 20 years down the line. Also because you're not doing this for instant gratification. I mean, that's very, very easy to do, right? You'll do something and you look at it immediately and you'll be super happy. But you're also trying to give people something that lasts time in a way, right? 10, 20 years down the line, when you look back at something, whether it's a photo, a clip, if we are able to trigger an emotion in somebody or remind people of why that happened, I think we've been successful in doing what we're doing. And I think that's the most important thing to be able to do, to be able to trigger an emotion in somebody. And I think that makes all of us very, very happy in a way. And like when people text you sometimes, right? It's been 2 years, it's been 3 years, and it was, and I still remember this, or I still remember that. And when you read those texts, it just fills your heart so much. I think that part is, I think, is very, very beautiful. Apart from that, I think once, let's say, we're onboarded, I think calls with the couples and just understanding them, knowing them, how they've envisioned their day, what are they planning, what's happening. And I think eventually, as you lead up to those months, you already build this rapport with them, which is the most important thing for us, because you've already broken that ice of just being a photographer. And we also like to kind of photograph and film from this lens of being your friend or being your really close friend. So the kind of access you get then is very, very different versus just a photographer, right? Like if I'm your best friend, it doesn't matter how close I am with my camera to you, right? You're okay with that. And I think that does make things a lot more personal.
Easier.
A lot more, I think people are able to just be themselves and be a lot more vulnerable. And that's what makes the work look a lot more personal, I think.
And I've seen that sometimes, I think most of the time that you have created a rapport, that is also through the engagement shoot that you guys do. And then suddenly you come back from the engagement shoot and everybody's the best friend. It's like, what happened here? The relationship changed here. That is fantastic. And you also include the parents and the siblings. That is important. Sometimes a lot of companies forget that it's not only the couples, it's also the parents and the siblings.
I think, especially Indians, right? Or even generally everywhere, weddings are about two people, yes, but everything that surrounds them, especially their most immediate families and their best of friends, right? They make a lot happen. Like how they feel towards the couple is also very, very important. And that relationship between them and with the couple, I think, adds so many layers of emotion, right? It's not just one singular emotion at a wedding. There are so many different things that are unfolding, happening. The mother's feeling a certain way, the best friend's feeling a certain way, somebody's fighting, somebody's doing something.
Yes.
There is like it's so dynamic, right? And there are so many things to look at, absorb, and just it's amazing, I think.
That's true. Agreed. And I just remembered the wedding that we did a few months back rather. In that, this bride and groom, I never thought that they would go under the water. And I suddenly come over and I see the groom is carrying the bride, and they completely wet. I'm like, wow, it's beautiful that you pulled that, because not everyone can pull something like that, because they are shy most
Yeah.
of the time.
I think that's what, right? To be able to get them to be their very vulnerable selves and just be themselves.
Yes.
Things they would do otherwise, to not worry, okay, shoot ho raha hai, ya, who are these guys? Just to break that or blur that line a little bit, I think is fantastic. And then what comes out is just beautiful.
What is one thing that you think about after the wedding is over? So, for an example, as a wedding planner, when I finish and I'm taking the flight back, or I'm driving back, if at all it's a local wedding, the one thing that really gets me going is, of course, the appreciation the words of appreciation. Sometimes they do it in the speech, sometimes
Yeah.
they do it personally, sometimes they do it in the text. Every guest is happy because for us it's a whole
Yeah.
of the wedding, but for you it may be a little different. So
I think you sense it,
ah,
right? Like, also because after you, I think it's us who are so close to people,
right.
in proximity, in so many different things, right? The kind of time we spend with the couple, with the families, is quite a lot. And I think you sense that with how they treat you, how they talk to you. And I think by the end of a wedding, you feel gratified in a way that, and people say this, like, even in between an event, or, oh my god, you've been so lovely,
Yeah.
this has been so nice, so many things, right? And when you go back, we're honestly thinking about what it's looked like, what is going to happen, and what we are going to do. But I think inside you, you've really put in your heart and soul in making this happen. and and it'll be nice. And when you send that first look to a couple in the next day that we do, that reaction
Ah.
to the photos is just everything. I think it's so beautiful to see people happy, and you can feel that text when you get, or a call,
Correct.
the joy that they're feeling looking at it, or it's just beautiful, I think.
Right. I think it is about instant gratification, definitely in our business. But even when I'm sure you have the same thing, they call you for maybe their bridal shower, baby shower rather, or the birthdays, and at least I get invited to all of those things, and you feel I must have done something better,
Yeah.
right? Over there.
Sometimes, I mean, yeah, it's not very often, to be honest, but or I don't know if it's because our how do you say, like, for you, you've been in touch with them for years, a
Yes,
year or
at
6 months
least.
or whatever, right? For us, even if we are onboarded a year ago, which usually is the case, um, the conversation's still very on and off, right? You're building a rapport, it's happening, and after the wedding, you've kind of built that super strong bond. And for us also, because we're Bombay, Bangalore based, and a lot of our clients are in neither of these places, or they're all over, right? So it's slightly more complicated with us, I would say. But people message, call on their anniversaries,
Yes.
and on special look, like, even when somebody's pregnant, Ashwin, blah blah blah, I'm expecting, this is, and I wanted to share this news with you,
Oh.
all of that.
Like the craft. And I know that Sid is your main artist, but you have so many other artists that you manage under the whole HOTC roof. Uh, what is the process like between all the artists? Because you have some photos, some
Yeah.
video.
I think as a company at large, we do both photo and film. And there are people who do only photo, people who do only video. Uh, Sid does both, and he dabbles in both. But apart from that, everybody kind of does one thing, right? Like, photo editors are separate, film editors are separate. Um, and I think each one does have a very unique style. Also because we have directors at the, how do you say, directors, and then people, or photographers and filmmakers who work with them in making their vision come true, right? And each one does have a very distinct style, or their touch to what they do. But I think overall, it is still very, very in tuned with the HOTC aesthetic. I think that's very, very important. Uh, and this aesthetic is also built over years, right? Like, if you are a director, you've been here for a while now. You've understood the language of the company. You've understood where we were, where we are, where we are headed, right? So, and there are very few at this level, correct? There's Vivek, there's Ayush, there's Lonav, there's Sid, there's me. uh, yeah, and I think everybody, even somebody who's not a director, let's say, still has a very, very unique vision, and what they bring onto table is so fresh and beautiful. And I don't think a wedding in its entirety is possible without either of them not being there. Like it's like we also have a slightly larger team, right? Like our
Correct.
team size depends on the scale of the wedding, right? And like we say, it's not just about two people, it's about people around them, the guests, the decor, the details, everything. So when you look at things a decade or two later, you're experience the wedding in a lot more wholesome way, versus just it was me and it was this person, and
Correct.
that's about it. So at that level, I think what each one kind of contributes in making that wholesome vision happen is super super important. And it's not just about one or two people. Of course, that one person's kind of envisioning the whole thing to be a certain way, and you need that kind of support from your team in making that happen. Yeah.
There are two things which is coming to my mind when I'm thinking about the wedding that we have worked on. One is you always ask me what is the dress code, what are the colors. You are one of the very few companies who do ask me. Usually we do tell every of all the vendors who are front facing, the client facing. So I know that you guys take care of that, and I'm so glad that you do, because you're not just
Yeah.
somebody in a black outfit taking
Yeah.
pictures.
I think for us to blend in, like we were saying, right, to kind of blur that boundary of just being a photographer is so important, which means you also have to dress the part, right? Like for every event, like if you look at, and I'm super proud of this, super 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 proud that we dress to the occasion. Like you'll feel like we are attending the wedding and not
Right.
just shooting the wedding.
You bring your tuxedos. I know that, and very few that they do that. So I'm so happy, because even the guests, they also feel that you have made an effort.
Absolutely.
That is important sometimes. And the second part, which was coming to, is what is the most challenging part of your craft, and what is the most rewarding?
I think challenging for us is to just please ourselves, because the expectations of just kind of constantly trying to do better than what you have done is always there. So I think that's the most challenging part, because I mean you can do something, but this question of what if it could be better, or also because in this space, especially with film, right, a film can be made in 100 different ways, because there is no one single narrative, right? Like there can be so many narratives in a film that you can say, but what you choose to go with is again your intuition, is what you feel strongest about. And it's it's incredible how that whole thing comes together. And I actually don't know how to explain, because let's say you do something, especially Sid, right? Like sometimes he's worked on a film for about 6 months or a year and still not been happy. Like maybe what if this could, and everybody in the team is like that now, saying what if this could be better, or can we do something else, can we, what can we do here, so I think that's super frustrating sometimes, because
You're
you're
always
happy
challenging
but
yourself.
you're like duh duh duh.
Nice.
And I think the most rewarding is of course the appreciation. I'm not gonna say we don't. I mean, it's heartwarming, the kind of response you get from people. And also you're in a space where people are looking up to you, right? So the pressure of delivering something that's authentic and still future forward is always there, right? And it's great. It's a great space to be in. I'm not going to deny that. But that also comes with so much responsibility. And and when you do something, and when people talk about it, or when you hear about it, I think it's just very very heartwarming and
With the
really really
power,
nice.
there comes the responsibility.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
But that's true, right? I
Correct.
mean, when you are in that position, and when there's so many people looking up to you, I think this whole sense of responsibility and being able to, also because we are in a space where, like I feel like all weddings are essentially the same, right? Regardless of,
Yes.
I mean, if it's a Hindu wedding, Muslim wedding, Sikh wedding, Christian wedding, in their own gambits, I think they're all the same essentially, right? Because they're the same ceremonies. Everything is the same. The only thing that is different is the people in it and their emotions. So to kind of still be true to that and make everything that you do slightly different or add soul into that is so important, I think. It's and I actually don't know how to explain this, but to add that soul into what you do or in everything that we do is HOTC, I think.
That's and that is why you are where you guys are, because of that, right? Because you put, so to bring a soul out, you have to put your soul in there, right? So that's what you do, and I've seen it in all your products. And sometimes, the bride and groom say, "Oh, when am I getting this?" But now I understand, if you're not happy, you don't want to deliver the final product. You want to, like, okay, no, I can do better.
Yeah.
And that is what makes anyone the best.
Yeah.
Right? If you're satisfied with your work, there is no growing
True.
after that.
Completely.
So keep on growing on that front. Now, when we were talking about the rewarding part, I think the collaboration. I think you guys have been one of the first ones who have started collaborating with some magazines, some media houses, and everything. Tell us more about it. I know some of my brides and grooms are super excited about it. Some of my brides and grooms are like, no, we want you to sign the NDA. Make sure none of my pictures are published. Of course, there are every different kind of brides and grooms, and that's why we are in this business. We love that. But I know that after you, a lot of people have followed that suit. So tell us more about it.
I think for us, privacy is super important, and to each their own, right? Like if you don't want anything going out, then you don't want anything going out. It doesn't matter. Yeah. And I think we're very respectful of that fact.
Yes.
Not just between the couple, with everything we say. We don't send anything to anybody, because a lot of times what happens is guests take your number and they're like, can you send me my photos? But we're also coming from a space where we don't want to disrespect the couple in a way. And when I say couple, I mean they're the clients, right? And if they don't want anything going out, then they don't want anything going out. So I think that respect and understanding is very important. And I think a lot of people also come to us because we're very careful with this, and we understand
Yes.
how important it is to people, right? It's not like we'll just go ahead and just do
Yes.
something. It's not okay. It's your private moment. It's you in it. I think it's sacred to you, and if you want to keep it private, that's absolutely okay.
Right.
So many of our films photos are not out.
Yes.
Like so many of them. And yeah.
Right. No, and I think there is a beauty in that, and there are some brides and grooms who also have hired you for that reason, because you are one of the first ones who started collaborations. Also because your stories and any collaborations have become inspiration for many weddings. I think that is important for the brides and grooms to also
Yeah.
post that, because how will this grow
Yeah.
if you don't put it? And social media is all with that
Absolutely.
nowadays. So I think you should continue definitely collaborating more.
Definitely. And I think it does help, right? Like of course you want to talk about what you're doing, all of that, and I think people have been very nice and also supportive and generous in making this happen. Like you said, it is a collaboration. I mean, everything has to kind of come together in making this one thing happen, whether it's publications, anything, right? Like I don't even know the number of publications we have at this point, but I think it's incredible, and it does kind of push people, or also because it's a very aspiring thing, right? Like you
Yes.
aspire to be seen, and I think that's all of us, even me for that matter, right? Like that little validation does give you that push.
Right.
And when you are doing so much, and when you've kind of dreamt of it, and when it does happen, I think there's a very different kind of gratification that all of us feel in it.
Agreed. Do you read the comments?
Yes.
I do. I do for all my
I
posts.
think I
Yes.
think every single one of them.
Yes, yes. Do they how do you feel about it? Sometimes negative, sometimes positive. I get very few negative, but I'm not sure if at all you guys do. But how do you feel about it?
I think touchwood, a lot of it or majority of it has only been
Positive.
positive. So there's not been like what, but there's some who also text personally criticizing this, that, and,
Yes.
and it's absolutely okay, I think. And you look at it and you take what you have to from it.
Yes.
And I think that's important. I mean,
And also, art is such a subjective term, right?
Absolutely.
It can be good for you, and somebody else will see it in a different light
Absolutely.
altogether. So that's fine.
it is very subjective, and,
Right.
and like I said, you when you hear it, I think it's important to also have criticism, but what you take out of it, and especially with us, right, like even with each other, if somebody says maybe this could have been better or maybe not this, then you still go back to it. It's not like I know what I mean. Of course you know what you're doing, but there's this more curiosity of, oh, is it, should I look into it maybe?
Right, absolutely. And you know, when I'm thinking about the challenges, I also think about one or two guests always. They're going to come in between your pictures. They are also going to have a lot of suggestions, a lot of advices, sometimes very strong suggestions. I know as a planner we do, and DJs do, and you guys would do. So, how do you handle it? I have seen you handle it, but you can just verbalize it.
I think it's such a happy day for people, and everyone is so excited in so many different ways. And like we said, right, social media, and everybody's on it, and everybody's seeing and consuming so much content every day, right? Like it's inevitable to not have ideas, or be like, maybe this, maybe that, maybe they should do this, maybe they should do this. And and I think we listen, and we also do some things whether we want to do it or not. But sometimes it's like I said, it's not just about us. It's about us helping your vision come to life, and maybe in our way. Let's say you want something, but we can make it happen from our vision. So again, it's a collaboration, right? And maybe that's great. It's not just a one-way street. I mean, it's not one mold fits all, especially in this case. So I mean, you listen to everything. Somebody will say something, maybe do this, that, blah blah blah, but you do what is possible. Also because we are very, very time bound, right? Like it's such a time driven environment in a lot of cases. Sometimes you get 5 minutes,
Yes.
sometimes you get
In a
10,
fraction of
sometimes you
second,
get
and the moment is gone.
it is gone.
Yes.
Right? So I mean, with everything that's happening being said, you do your best in making whatever happen that you can.
Right.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And I've seen that personally. So I'm very happy to have that. Now, when we are talking about business side of it, and I know that you take care of that side of HOTC, how do you have that process? So let's say if at all there's a bride and groom who are looking at hiring a photo video company, and I'm so glad that you as a company travel to every part of the world, including the USA, and we've had you a couple of times over there. So how does it, like, how do you, what would be the advice for the bride and groom?
I think we've been very, very fortunate that sometimes people come to us first, and sometimes
Yes.
people have even changed or booked dates according to our availability.
Yes,
And
yes,
it feels
they
great.
have.
It feels great.
Yes.
I'm not gonna deny that. But I say the minute you know your dates, I think it's a great time to call. Yeah, without that it's slightly tricky. But the minute you know your dates, you have your venue, I think it's a great time to start talking. Also because people start planning their weddings so much in advance that you also get booked out a year in advance. So, and sometimes maybe you'd call a month ago and we'd still be available on a
Yes.
certain date. So there is no rocket science to it, or no right way to do it. The minute you know it, and if you want somebody, I think you should reach out to them.
Right.
And with us, I think we respond to everybody. Every single
That's
email, every single message does get a response, whether we're available, not available, whatever it is. Um, so I mean, it's just about making that effort to reach out, and and just taking it from there. I mean, I think we're very, very approachable. I would like to say.
Yes, yes, you are. And also, and this is the advice that I would give all the brides and grooms is photo video, if you like a company, if at all they are not available, you'll be disappointed.
Yeah.
So photo video, hair and makeup, and of course a planner, I would say that.
Planners on top.
You should always approach them as soon as possible. Even if at all you're looking at certain dates, just talk to them
Yeah.
and say, okay, you know what, these are the dates I'm looking at. Are you available? Even before you book a
Absolutely.
venue, is what I would suggest, because I've seen so many times that a person is disappointed because that particular company is not available. DJ, hair and makeup, even henna artist for
True.
US. Now for our part of the world. We do plan our weddings sometimes 1.5 years, 2 years out too,
Yeah.
which is a good time for us to approach, especially the vendors from India. And I'm so glad that now I am talking to more vendors from India compared to what I used to 10 years back. And now, the travels have become easier, the world has
Absolutely.
become smaller. Even the way you guys think in India, and I'm not saying that I'm not Indian, I am Indian, but the way our thoughts are almost aligning now. I see the brides and grooms are connecting more with the vendors from here. So that is a good time, and I think it is going to grow much
Absolutely.
bigger now than what used to. So I'm looking forward to having you more at my weddings. And now I want to talk a very different shift that I am seeing in the market. What I'm seeing is, in the world of access, the minimalist is the luxury, the minimalism. And I feel nowadays, and this in 2025, I did 3 weddings which had guests from 20 to 40, and they were the most beautiful weddings. Of course, your dollar goes a longer way because you don't have to spend so many people's
Yeah.
dinner and everything, and that's where they splurge, if I may use that
Absolutely.
word, on photo video, on certain artists that they really want. What are your thoughts on that? I know that you have done a couple of smaller weddings now
Yeah.
in the guest count perspective.
I think I don't want to be biased, but I think photo and video is the only thing that people have that will hold every single one of these together as memories. Whether it's your DJ, your henna, like you said, or decor or venue or whatever, none of it is something that you can take back, right? It's very momentary. You feel it. But what is it that is actually holding all of this together 10 whatever number of years down the line, right? It is your photos and film. So I think the kind of importance people place on it is right and is absolutely worth it in spending whatever dollars that they are, and it's absolutely worth every single penny that people spend, because there's nothing for you to remember. Your memories, yes, but nothing like looking at them and reliving them, right? Like, you can't take your flowers back, you can't stay at the property that you've had your wedding at. You danced to this DJ or whatever, but to be able to live that back,
Correct.
it's only the photos and films, right?
And the videos. And thank goodness the
Absolutely.
videos are not like I had 28 years back. My husband and I, our faces are only half of the screen or maybe lesser, and I have only flowers and butterflies and everything else. But I'm glad that that has gone, and your videos are fantastic. I know that you also select music very thoughtfully. What's your process like over there?
Ah, I think music in general for us adds a lot of soul into what we do, or
And
what we.
especially you, when you have worked in there, and that's your art also.
I think so. I mean, also because we're saying this, what you look at needs to last time, right? So music that you use also needs to be of that quality that can last the test of time, right? Like, we don't use music that's very, very trendy or popular. And there's a very, very strong reason to that. Like maybe you feel that today, you will not feel that music 20 years down the line. Like it still needs to be fresh, unique,
Timeless.
and timeless. Absolutely, that's the word. So just how we select music is like a battle or a task. Just to be like, this is unique, this is sounding unique, this is fresh, this will still stay the same so many number of years down the line. And that process is long for us. I'm being super honest here. Like a month, 2, or sometimes 3, even longer for that matter, is just spent on finding music. Like you're listening to so much every single day. Like, okay, this track, maybe it'll be useful somewhere. Maybe this, put it here. So, I mean, that's a very, very complicated process at HOTC.
Oh.
Music is so, so, so important.
All right, Ashwin. So now, what is in store for House on the Clouds for the next 5 years? I want to know what you're excited about.
I think we want the brand to be a lot more wholesome and in a way that you look at it as a lifestyle brand. I think it already is,
Yes.
but to kind of push the brand in that direction a lot more. And we are kind of planning a lot of things to kind of hold that statement. And it's taking us time. I mean, it's exciting, super, super exciting with whatever we're planning to do, whether it's clothes or
Wait, clothing. You have to tell us more about that.
so I've always loved design and clothes and this and that and all of that, and I've always wanted to do something with it. And when we say House in the Clouds as a lifestyle brand, of course, photo, film, our space that we are at, or to even build a very unique space to just work in, or for people to just come and be in it, is, I think, a great thing. Like imagine like we imagine a museum sort of a setup where we're working, where people can come look at things.
Are we,
It's
are we
very,
going,
very high.
Are we going back to Sid's dream of the coffee shop
In
at
a
House
way,
on the Clouds?
in a way, maybe if it happens.
Wow, that's amazing. All the best for that. So that is about the HOTC as a company. What about weddings? Do you see anything new coming up? The trends that the brides and grooms should look out for?
I think for us, we've tried to slightly stay away from trends. When I say away from trends, I think people have looked up to us, right, to do something. So
You
you're
set the
also,
trends. How about that?
in a
Take
way.
the compliment, Ashwin.
So I mean, you are in that space of kind of creating something unique that can be followed in a way, or at least the attempt is that, right? So there are a lot of things that you want to do. I think we're also going a lot more simpler and more meaningful in what we do, and I think the soul aspect of, to retain that soul aspect in things, is just getting more and more important to us, I think, because it's
Perfect.
also more human, right? Of course, the cinematic experience is beautiful and is a must, but how you add a lot more soul into that cinema, I think makes a world of difference. And I think that is not going anywhere, no matter the number of years. You still want to feel something, you still want to experience that joy, that laughter, that cry, and that's what makes all of us human, right? I mean, no matter what happens, but that feeling, that emotion, that chord that you strike, I think is everything. And the attempt in just making that more and more stronger with a language that is as modern as it can get, I think is the space where we want to be. Yeah, like it is traditional, but also said in a very beautiful and modern way that it's relevant. So yeah, like I said earlier, right? Like from a wedding in someone's house or dining area to in a huge villa or whatever, right? Like a hotel, it's all so different, and but it's still
Yet so personal.
exactly, and to just be true to that emotion of it being personal, I think is everything.
Right. I agree completely, and as a planner, I can second that. I in the last 5 years, what is that one moment that you look forward to in for the next this year or next few years? I can give you my example. So as a planner, I would always think about the bridal entrance. And I'm not sure why we always say bridal entrance because it's all about the brides. I'm sorry, grooms, but
No,
that's
it
the
is
way
all
it
about the
is.
bride. It
It
is.
is
It
about
is
the
a
bride.
bride's world.
So I'm always looking forward to that. And when she walks in, and when she's just walking to the mandap, and I'm
Yeah.
just looking from from back, and that whole visual is what I look forward to. Every wedding any kind of wedding,
Yeah.
there's always an entrance. And the second thing is, I don't know why, but I always cry at the vidai. Nobody is doing vidai nowadays, but I'm crying. So these are the two important things that I feel that I'm like, those are the moments
Yeah.
that I'm living for in this industry.
Very, very similar, I would say, right? Like for me, it's that first meeting when the Jaimala happens, or when after the entry, that moment when they meet, I think is so, so beautiful. And the bride's entry is
Yes.
everything. I'm
We live for that.
absolutely. It is, you just, that emotion, that look in his and her eye or their eyes, and that meeting, I think, if you see me, you'll see me a little teary eye every time. I'm
I have seen
always,
you that. I've seen there. I've been there.
I don't know what it is, and we see so much of it, right? Like we're seeing it every other day for
Correct.
that matter. But even then, if that emotion is still alive, I think that is really the place to be. And I don't know how else to say that. It's just amazing to feel that way. When
Correct.
you
I
forget
don't think,
everything.
right. And I don't think anyone who is not in this industry can understand this. Even as a parent, people will not understand why we are so emotional about every
Yeah.
wedding that we are doing. Like, what is going on here? But really, because we
True.
work so much for that moment or those emotions that we do get worked up.
I actually don't know how to explain this at all, because when I was not into weddings,
Uh-huh.
I would be, and I'd look at things on TV and cinema and be like, "What's there to cry? I mean, this is okay. You're just getting married.
Right.
Like क्या है इसमें वो? Why do you have
Right.
to?" But when you are in that space, that energy, that emotion, that joy, I think just gets to you. It's
Correct.
infectious.
Agree.
There is no other way. Like everybody feels it, and for me especially, because I'm not physically shooting,
Right.
I'm
More
really an
connected.
observant. I think my connection to what is happening is a lot more stronger,
Right.
and which is why the
Yes, I agree completely. Now, the fun part. Let's talk about some rapid fire questions. Okay, what's your favorite camera gear?
So this is
SIDS.
we're
Yes.
Canon ambassadors, so there is no go. There is, we love Canon.
Okay, all right. What is the creative habit that you cannot live without?
That what if,
Right.
like
Ah,
कुछ और करते हैं, कुछ और करते हैं, कुछ और
let's
करते
do
हैं.
better.
Let's do better.
Ah, okay, all right. And the last one. What is that picture or the reel from your whole Instagram feed that you feel the most connected to?
I think for me personally, this is gonna be something that's still not out. I think we're still working on it. It's been over a year to this wedding, but uh, I think we were just so fortunate to kind of be in that space with them. Uh, and everything just turned out so, so beautifully. And also, there were a lot of layers to this whole story and why I'm saying this. Like, she was a cancer survivor, and how her wedding happened, and how he was there for her, and how
Oh.
everything came together so beautifully, and for us to just have been there to experience it. And I think it's turned out so beautifully that it's actually taking us so long to even bring this thing out. Like, you're still working on it. It's been a year and we're still working on it. So
Because these are precious.
it's, I don't know if I can even put into words, especially this one. Uh, I think the atmosphere was just so different versus how it is otherwise, because it wasn't just getting married for them. It it was so much
Much more than
more
that.
than just coming together. It was just beautiful, and I think when or whenever we bring this out, I think hopefully it is as beautiful as we envision for it to be.
Right. Wow. All the best for that.
Thank
Because
you.
I know that is very precious. I've had one cancer survivor as a bride, and we did the butterfly release for that.
Oh,
Because it is symbolic
correct.
for and it was on the Hudson River. It was a Memorial Day weekend around 12 years back.
Wow.
And it still holds that special place in my heart. So all the best. I'm looking
Thank you.
forward to that. And thank you so much. You excelled in your rapid fire.
As bad.
But thank you so much, Ashwin.
Thank
This
you.
was
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you so much.
Take